welcome. If you clicked on this, I assume you're going on Erasmus to Gdansk. And before I went here, I didn't find any deep information videos about Erasmus life here. So I thought that in today's video, I'm gonna talk about that. First though, I have to kind of like explain my situation, why I still might not be the best person to tell you about how Erasmus life is here in Gdansk, because I'm kind of on a DIY Erasmus, meaning I've only stayed here for 2 months. I am not an Erasmus student. I'm an online student at home in Norway, and I did ask them if I could do the Erasmus program to like get the scholarship and everything, but that wasn't possible. But because I am online and I wanted to go abroad and try to engage a little bit with the Erasmus community, not as much as I did on my actual Erasmus in Lisbon. By the way, this is not going to be like generally about the Erasmus program, but more specifically about Gdansk and like how it is to study or be a digital nomad here. If you are curious about the Erasmus concept, I did make an own video about that, as well as my Erasmus in Lisbon, if that would be of any interest at all. But today the focus is on Gdansk, so let's get started. I'm going to talk a little bit about accommodation because I know that is one of the most overwhelming parts about moving, and especially abroad. This is the smoothest I've like gotten accommodation. I booked it a week before I left, and then I booked my ticket a few days later. This is not the most thought through thing I've done, but I can really recommend my student accommodation. It is called Student Depot. This kind of fun, but student accommodation in Norway is like the cheapest alternative we have, but I feel like abroad student accommodation is often more expensive than if you went private, and so that goes for Student Depot as well. It is more expensive, and some people say I am way overpaying. What I really like about that, and especially when moving abroad when it's like even scary because you don't know the housing market and stuff, is that you know like it's legit. You won't get scammed if something doesn't work. You know it'll get fixed. Like their whole purpose is to like accommodate you, and so I've been very happy with my Student Depot experience, and I love the location as well. And I ended up here just because they had a room for me for 2 months. Other student accommodation I came across, which is like the same concept. Milestone is very great for Erasmus students. A lot of Erasmus people stay here. All in, that is new this fall, so I don't know anything about this, but it looks really nice when that is done. As well as I live right next to a resi for rent, which is like, from what I've read, I think it's a pretty cool concept. Then I have apartments, a few spots in town. So those are some tips. Again, I did not really research too much, and I haven't talked too much about people how they found their accommodation, but a lot of people also post in the ESN Gdansk group chat about that they have a place and want roommates for the next semester, or you can post yourself and say, hey, does anyone know about a flat? By the way, on Erasmus, I really recommend having Erasmus housemates. For me in Lisbon, that was like half my experience, but I'm very done living with people at this point, so I have been by myself here in Student Depot. That was also why I chose to stay here. For areas, I also feel like I haven't been involved too much to really know what like areas to recommend you, and that also depends on your needs. If you're going to spend a lot of time on school, I would always recommend to prioritize staying near that. The city center is so beautiful, but obviously more crowded. If you're okay with that, that would be a fun place to stay. I am staying in, this is one of the downside about Erasmus in Gdansk, it is impossible to pronounce Polish words, but I live in Przymor or something. Again, I didn't check this out really, but I'm so happy, and I know I was meant to stay here because this area is so beautiful. I came to Gdansk exclusively because of the beach. I just wanted to stay in a city that had like a beach I could walk by, and here I'm just 20 minutes away from the beach, as well as multiple grocery stores literally 2 minutes away, right by the tram. And yeah, and this definitely feels like more local and not like a crazy city rush, which I personally really love, as well as obviously the beach. So this is like right in the middle between Gdansk and Sopot, because a lot of people actually stay in Sopot as well. But Sopot is like the vacation town, which is separate from Gdansk, but like it's pretty close, and it is very beautiful there too, but definitely not as like city vibes as Gdansk. So again, don't really know too much about areas, but I would definitely, if you find an apartment you think looks nice, see how far it is from the city center or the beach or university or public transportation possibilities, what is important to you, and that's what I have to say about accommodation, I think. But then onto like the Erasmus part and Erasmus community in the city. As I said, I've previously done an Erasmus in Lisbon, and that is like one of the biggest Erasmus cities in Europe, and they have like events all the time, every day. You knew you would meet someone new every time because there are just so many international people. So I had a very different experience here in Gdansk. It is way smaller. It's only one Erasmus organization, or ESN, the standard one. In Lisbon we have more, and it is way smaller, so everything just feels like more near and more like flexible and more personal, I guess. In Lisbon we had to like sign up for activities on the website, often a few days before, because spots got full. So something that was new for me this time was that everything was going on through the group chat on WhatsApp. I will link the ESN Gdansk group chat below so you can join if you want to, because in the beginning I was very confused about this. I couldn't find anything on their website and thought it was kind of difficult to navigate it, and that might be one of the pro sides of actually being an Erasmus student here and actually go to one of the universities. They probably have like some type of information about that at your school, besides me just staying here and studying in my room. But so once you're in that, you'll get like the information you need. They post about events. It is not not events that often. It is weekly, but not every day for sure. A lot of events get cancelled. I don't know if that is because not enough people sign up or because they don't have people to do it or whatever, but there have been like some sudden cancellations in the group chat. So pros and cons with everything for sure, but I really like the feeling of that the group chat felt like a little community. The same people were posting things, posting pictures from parties. So I think if you're good at like getting involved once you get here, I think the Erasmus community here is really great. Again, I've only been staying here 2 months. It is the end of the semester, people have their friends and exam periods, and I've not gone to too many events. A few, but I was totally welcome. People showed up a lot more open-minded, but I do feel a significant difference in size compared to what I've experienced in Lisbon. To just briefly touch on that outside of the Erasmus community too, it's not really an international city, I would say. Again, I might be the very wrong person to make this video. I'm just like telling you what I have gotten the impression of, and what my Erasmus standard was Lisbon, and that is one of the most international cities in the world, both with like workers and Erasmus. So compared to that, I don't feel like Gdansk is a really international city. Obviously exceptions, there are international people here, but I did try to research like international groups on Facebook and stuff, and didn't really find too many, especially not young adults. There were like some grown-up events that I didn't go to. And this also I don't know about, I can only talk from Norway, but Poland is a very popular country to go and study medicine because it's really hard to get into in Norway, and that includes Gdansk. So there is like a Norwegian community here. It's pretty strong. Obviously they go to school together and stuff, so I don't know how that will be for other countries, but maybe worth checking out. Another reason I went here was because I assumed Poland is very cheap. So I've been telling people I just found the cheapest city I could find with a beach, which was my intention, but it has not been as cheap here as I thought. This is the most expensive rent I've had like in my life. I have like a studio, so it's actually pretty good, or fine at least. But like for being Poland, and I'm having heard people literally laugh at prices here because it's so cheap, I've not experienced. Retail stores are pretty much the same price as other countries. Supermarkets are cheaper for sure, but still I don't laugh at the prices, at least not yet. So it is like a cheap city, and that is what is great about Erasmus. You can cheap cities if you want to, but it has not been like as cheap as I thought. I thought I could go on like big shopping sprees and stuff, but that has not been the case. Then I gotta give a big kudos to Gdansk because the public transportation here is one of the easiest I've ever navigated in my life. Not hard at all. Told you exactly what to do, where to go, which I feel a lot of other countries or like places I've been, public transportation is like not easy to figure out, but it really was here. So the only app I've used is this. Very cheap as well, and like clean buses and trams as far as I've experienced, and just like good connections. You can get anywhere in this town, which is very nice. And then I have a lot of notes on why it is a nice city to live in. This is obviously also very personal, but I thought I would share them quick anyways. Again, I came exclusively for the beach, but the beach here is literally so beautiful. It's not crowded at all. Like I'm gonna miss it so much. It's a long beach with like white clean sand, and then you have a trail like basically the whole way to Sopot. And for me, who walking is my favorite hobby, that has been one of my biggest blessings here. I do not get tired of it. It's so beautiful, and you see the ocean sand, but like you still have the trees and just space. Oh my gosh, space. I love Gdansk because it is a city for sure and has like city vibes, but it doesn't feel like claustrophobic, which I love. There are space like on the sidewalks, on the beach, at the beach trail, in the city center. Like it's just so nice, and it's like a chill and calm atmosphere kind of because of that, which I really love. Also the fact how walkable this city is. As I just said, the public transportation is great, but you can also walk everywhere, and it's so beautiful to walk around here. My step count these months has been like crazy. I'm gonna miss this city so much. So if you're going on Erasmus here, just enjoy it. It is a very nice city. Also the fact that it still has a downtown, which is so cute by the way, and such lovely buildings. Like it's beautiful. And also the beach, like this is a perfect created city. I love Gdansk. Shortly about what I've not enjoyed as much. Again, the fact that ESN doesn't have a lot of events. I don't blame them if they don't have like too much of an administration. But as an Erasmus student, that is something I really valued during my last Erasmus, and like a variety of types of events and stuff. Also, Polish is hard, and learning a new language isn't necessarily the goal of people going abroad, but I think like saying thank you is so hard. Dziękuję. And I still don't feel confident in saying that at the grocery store, which is something I do consider a downside. I know tak, which is yes, because tak is thank you in Norwegian, and yeah, I think, I don't know. And then like when people say where they live, I have no idea because I wouldn't know how to pronounce or write that. And just in general, you cannot guess what something is from reading the Polish because it's very hard. And then I've written unpredictable weather. I've only been here for May and June, and people say that is like the most beautiful months, and I'm so happy I got to experience that. It's been like blooming and sunny and very nice weather for the most part, but I've also heard that Gdansk isn't really that sunny the rest of the year, and they have a winter here. And also what I have had time to experience is that it can be really different from from every day. It can be like so warm one day, and then I wake up and look out the window and see, oh, it's like sunny today too. But then it's been like freezing cold, and I did not bring warm clothes here, so that was my own fault. But like, it can really depend from day to day, and that goes for rainy days as well. Maybe a stupid reason because every city has rainy days, but it has like been that unpredictable that I have been confused. So that is what I had for this video. As I said, I've not really been an Erasmus student. I've not made lifelong friends here. I didn't really engage or like participate a lot in the Erasmus community. The story would probably have been different if I was actually an Erasmus student here from the beginning, but I think Gdansk is a great city. People who I have met here are very happy living and studying here. So all in all, 10 out of 10 recommend. If you have been on Erasmus in Gdansk, if I missed something or I'm just completely off on something, please let me know down below. And if you're wondering about anything else, comment that as well. I'll try to answer as good as I can. And then again, if you're more curious about the Erasmus experience in general, I do have a video about that without like any city into consideration. If you're wondering about if you should do Gdansk or Lisbon, I have a video about Lisbon too. And I think that would be. Thank you so much for watching and have a lovely day. Bye!